Boy, I'm telling you, fall in Atlanta is something else, y'all. Anyway, wife getting ready. All right, guys, today we about to go check out the High Museum of Art. We're right across the street from the Alliance Theatre. And every time I'm afraid, man, there's a lot of leaves, man. And there's shit that keeps falling off these trees above me, man. I'm afraid something's gonna hit me in the head and take me out, man. That's not the way I decided I wanted to go in life.
Beautiful people, beautiful people. Good Doc back again once again. Just arrived home a couple hours ago from the ATL trip.
Welcome to Atlanta where the players play.
But I just wanted to share my thoughts on the entire mini vacation that I took down to the ATL with the wife and everything, just to give you guys my thoughts on the city, you know, and all the things that I did. So make sure you stay locked in, man. I'm gonna provide some visuals for you guys to see a little bit of what our trip was like. So day one, ladies and gentlemen, straight to the point. We got to business for the actual reason why we were down in Atlanta, all right? So many of you guys may know, many of you guys may not know, but the good doc celebrates his birthday in the month of November. Ironically, the wife also celebrates her birthday in the month of November as well. We are 5 days apart. Shout out to the Scorpio gang. My birthday is the 17th, her birthday is on the 21st. So in an effort to treat her for her birthday and to get out of the city of Fayetteville where we at right now, I decided, yo, I bought her some tickets to go to the Blackpink concert, the K-pop group. Now, is Doc into that shit? Yeah, it depends. You know, I ain't an avid listener, but every now and again, I have to admit some of them songs is catchy. But we went down there specifically for the concert that they were having in Atlanta. It was the closest venue to where we live at, of course. So I figured, I was like, fuck it, man. Let's just go ahead and check it out. Be a little quick birthday gift for her. And, you know, we'd be able to have a good time together and shit. And then, you know, it'd at least give me a chance to check out Atlanta because I hadn't been in a long time. So first things first, man, we knock it out. We go to the merch booth. She grabs her little nightstick and her t-shirt for a concert and everything. We jet set over to the hotel room where we kicked it probably just in enough time to get ready to go right back to the venue. Okay, one thing a lot of people told me about Atlanta, and I'm only figuring it out when I'm in Atlanta, is Atlanta is very, very trafficky. There's a lot of fucking traffic in Atlanta. I mean, it don't matter what time of day you travel, you're gonna hit traffic. You're gonna hit a pocket of traffic somewhere. And when I was booking the hotels, right, and I was trying to find the distance from the hotel to the venue, and it tells me something like, it's only like 15 minutes away, and the hotel was a good deal. I'm like, fuck it, man, 15 minutes? I said, that's dope, man. So let me just go ahead and knock that out, book it, and we was good. Nobody told me 15 minutes is damn near 30 to 45 minutes in Atlanta traffic. Nobody said that to me, but again, it's a live and learn experience. So, you know, traveling back and forth, getting caught in traffic and stuff, it was a bummer. But we made it to the concert on time, man. Young lady had a good time, man. She jumping around having the time of her life. We get back to the hotel, catch some shut-eye, and that was all we did for day one. Drive down there, go to the concert, go to the hotel, chill. Now on day two was my day, right? Day two was the good doc's day. So we went to the world of Coca-Cola. Now, as many of you guys know, I love me some Coca-Cola, the beverage. I love Coke, the beverage, right? Drink the shit day and night, man. It's my favorite drink of choice. I know I need to lay off the carbonated beverages, but if I had to choose one carbonated beverage to drink for the rest of my life, it would likely be a nice cold Coca-Cola in a can. So me and the wife went over to the world of Coca-Cola, man. It cost us 20 bucks to get in, $43 after tax for both of us to go. And I have to say that was probably one of the best experiences I've had in a long time, going through like a tour of types, man. And I mean, it was dope to me, man. So first things first, we buy our tickets. We're in this waiting room, right? And there's a lady who's out there being like our little guide and everything, and she's asking us questions about the history of Coca-Cola, the history of the Coca-Cola company, and other brands of beverages and stuff. She's just getting the party going until they were able to let in the group of people after buying their tickets. So she was just like the entertainment for the moment. She was asking us questions about the Olympics and all types of stuff, man. Pretty cool. Kept the party going. And then the doors open, right? So when the doors open, you go into this room, and then it has all of the memorabilia from Coca-Cola from umpteen thousand years ago. I think the oldest article of, or the oldest item ever made for Coca-Cola was probably something in that room that was around the 1800s, early 1900s. They had some memorabilia from that early or that way back when, man, and I thought that was pretty cool. Right, so they show us around, nice little area and everything. They wait for the group to get in, and once the door's shut, that's when another guy speaks and has a little dialogue, and goes around talking about where different memorabilia is coming from around the world and everything. Coca-Cola made, of course. And, he's talking to us, and, he's asking us, have any of you guys ever been there before? Of course, me and the wife being the newbies, we haven't been there. But at the end of the tour, there's this taste test, right? So you get to try different Coca-Cola products from around the world. Germany, Korea, Vietnam, Thailand, you name it. They have probably a beverage from that particular country. Chile, you name it. El Salvador, they got it. So they were off, for the people who had been there before, they were asking if you had any recommendations, and of course the people would say you should actually try this one, or this, or whatever. So then the doors open again, so it's kind of like a world tour. It's like guiding us through some shit, right? First room, all the memorabilia. Second room, where we couldn't record, of course, because it was basically like us sitting down watching the screen of like a video. It's just like a promo marketing video, man. It was pretty dope. It was worth it. I liked it. It kind of got the emotions going a little bit. We had some fellow soldiers returning from Iraq to surprise family. Some dude trying to propose to his girlfriend on a hot air balloon. I guess you ain't scared of heights, because I was straight the fuck out just watching them. But just a couple of happiness moments, right? People jumping out of airplanes and shit. It's crazy, right? But after you go through that, then you get to the part where it's self-paced, right? Wherein you can do whatever you want to. There's 2 floors. On the bottom floor, right, you get to go through the vault. And then the vault, my friends, I love the vault. The vault, by far, in my opinion, is probably, outside of the taste-tested area, the vault was probably my absolute favorite place to go. Why? Because this particular area has the actual recipe, right? The actual physical recipe of Coca-Cola inside this big ass vault. Bruh, this vault is no joke. They look like they built that specifically to safeguard some stuff, man.
He is absolutely correct, my friends. The vault that you're all looking at does contain Coca-Cola's handwritten secret formula. This formula was developed back in 1919 by a man known as Asa Candler. He then kept that formula in the bank up in Manhattan, New York, which was stayed for almost.
And it's legit. Like, they say the actual recipe is behind these vault doors and stuff. I think that's pretty awesome. The original recipe. We also got to go through the history of Coca-Cola, how Pemberton started it. John Pemberton, I believe is my man name. Pennington. Forgive me if I mess it up. And then how it was sold to another dude, and he bought a lot of shares in stock of Coca-Cola, and then it was sold to somebody else and all this stuff, right? So it tells you the whole history of the chain of command of sorts when it comes down to, the vault, the history of the recipe and all of that shit. It was great. It was like a walk through history, like really seeing how this shit came about. You know me, I'm big on shares and stocks and shit. So it was always nice to see who owned what and when they owned it and stuff. So, they talked about that. Then they talked about a lot of people trying to knock off the item, imitation, biggest form of flattery. And they had all these different products that people tried to make that kind of resemble Coke, but it wasn't the actual thing because, of course, they didn't have the actual recipe. Again, I'm babbling, but the vault was my shit, right? And then I actually took a picture next to the vault and everything, man. Shit was cool. I loved it. That was kind of like the highlight of my time there, right? So then you walk around a couple of other rooms on the bottom floor. Then you can go upstairs. There's a 3D video. If you want to take a picture with the polar bear, you got to wait for your time frame because it tells you what time the polar bear is coming through. But you can take a picture with the polar bear and everything. Pretty legit. Then, like I said, second floor, the gift shop, and then of course the place where you guys can try and taste test all of the different Coke products from around the world. We're not talking about just different kinds and forms and brands of Coke. We're talking about different types of Coke products, right? They even had Watermelon Royale, which I've never seen in the Philippines a day in my life, but that was representative of the Philippines. When we walked through, it was a Watermelon Royale. South Korea had this apple lychee drink that I thought was fantastic. It was good. It was a Minute Maid apple lychee drink. They had this thing called the Beverly from Italy, just like sparkling water. It tastes like ass. Don't try the Beverly if you go to World of Coca-Cola. Somebody's gonna try to recommend you try the Beverly. Do not try the fucking Beverly, okay? They set us up. Some dude was like, yo, the Beverly is a must try, man. The Beverly is a must try. So I'm thinking the Beverly, the shit, right? No, the Beverly tastes like straight ass. So don't go, if you go to the World of Coca-Cola ever in Atlanta, do not try the Beverly. I would say try it for the experience, but do not try it thinking that shit gonna be the bomb. Because for me, it was definitely a no-go. There was a lot of things on that list that I would never try again, but just having the experience to be able to try it was awesome. Went through the gift shop, and that was pretty much all we did on day 2, man. We visited the World of Coca-Cola. Like I said, it was worth every bit of the money we spent on it. You know, wife got a couple of souvenirs and shit on the way out. And that was it for day 2, man. Then we slide on into day day 3, y'all. Day 3 was a little different. Cause day 3, Doc got to refine himself a little bit. He got to put on his gentleman mode, right? Cause we went to the High Museum of Art in Atlanta. The High Museum of Art. Now, a lot of people may not know this about the good Doc, but I like art, right? I just don't go to shit like that by myself, right? So when the wife said, let's go to the museum, I was like, cool, right? High Museum of Art cost you $16.50 per person to get in before tax. I think we paid $35 total, something to that effect. But yeah, man, we got to check out the High Museum of Art. You know, Doc has a refined palette, man. I like looking at art. I like shit that makes me think, makes me confused a little bit, get to express my emotional side and shit. So we was enjoying the art. But I have to say, man, I'm a very easy person to please when it comes to a lot of things, right? So I got to see some pre-Victorian shit, you know, some furniture and some vases, some vases, some sculptures and shit. We got to see the Rodin exhibit and all of that stuff. I mean, it was all good, sculptures of naked people and shit. But there was one thing about this museum that really set it off for me, and I promise you, I was standing in front of this thing for like 20 fucking minutes just playing around with it, right? It was this steel thing. It was kind of like a mirror, but the images were fragmented, right? Basically the design of it, and you guys will see it, but basically the design of it was like it's your picture, but it's a picture of you fragmented, right? So I promise you, I was standing in front of this thing for like 20 damn minutes. I said, yo, man, this shit gonna look good for the gram. Even though Doc ain't on Instagram like that, but if you are on Instagram, you should follow me at Dr. Mike from the PH. Knock that out. But anyways, I stood in front of this thing for about 20 minutes and I was in on it, bro. I could not help myself. The artist, whatever it was the simplest thing ever. It was probably one of the more simplest things in the exhibit, but it was one of the things that I found myself to be captivated by the most. I was there for a hot minute just playing around with this mirror-like thing where my fucking image was just fragmented and shit. I said, yo, this shit looks so cool. And I was there for about 20 minutes, man. Spent the majority of my day there just looking at that thing right there. And I do have to say that was the high point of my time at the High Museum of Art in Atlanta. We just looked at a couple of other things, couple other exhibits and shit like that. And then I made the mistake because Doc wanted to add something to the trip, right? Doc thinking he gonna surprise the wife and shit, thinking we gonna go somewhere. So I decided, I said, hey, let me take my young lady down to the Underground Atlanta, right? It's tourist attraction and shit. I was like, yo, let's go down to the Underground Atlanta. I went there one time in high school, a long fucking time ago. I went over there to the Underground Atlanta, and it's a no-go for me, bro. It is a no-go for me. Now, first of all, couldn't find a park. Then, when I wanted to actually find a park or park in their little parking spot, old buddy said, yo, that shit gonna cost you a dub. I said, $20 for a park? I said, hell no, big dog. I said, I'm just gonna go and leave. First of all, it was expensive as hell in this ghetto ass neighborhood. Let's keep it a buck, right? So I found a park, you know, paid a little meter and shit. All of it, I know my wife was feeling uncomfortable. I know the man was feeling really uncomfortable, but I tried to fucking chuck it out. I tried to push through it because I was like, yo, it's Underground Atlanta. The last time I went, man, I had the time of my life. It was a great experience. I said, fuck it, maybe it'll get better. Maybe it's just this particular part of the area. And then we got around to where the Underground Atlanta was supposed to be. And I realized a lot of transients, a lot of poor people, a lot of homeless people just hanging out in front of the fucking Underground Atlanta. I'm like, yo, this shit makes me feel uncomfortable. And then we got the Black Hebrew Israelites, with all due respect, shout out to the brethren, over there preaching on the other side of the street. You know, I don't know, man. I just didn't feel the vibe, man. There was a lot going on in that area, and something told me we should just leave, right? I'm sure she probably would have went through it, but I was having a hard time finding where I wanted to go, and we were getting frustrated. I was getting frustrated. You know, it was just becoming a thing, and we hadn't eaten at that moment, so Doc was just in his feelings and shit. So at the time, I said, fuck it, bro. It's just not gonna work, right? So our trip to the Underground Atlanta was a complete bust. right? Drove around for a hot minute trying to find a place to park. And most of the areas in downtown Atlanta were pretty much dealing with a lot of homelessness, bro. I'm not gonna cap, man. Not gonna even cap. So we found our way over to some place. Oh, we ended up eating at the Hard Rock Cafe in Atlanta. In that area is where we spent a little bit of time. We walked around a little bit to see, not a lot to see, but other than that, that was pretty much how we commenced the trip. That was the last day. We wake up this morning, travel back home, and this is where you guys are seeing me today after I taken a quick shower. So overall, I would have to say the downfall of the entire trip, Underground Atlanta wasn't really popping like I wish it would. Maybe I was in the wrong part of the UG, Underground Atlanta, but I ain't fuck with it at all, and likely I'll never go back. Traffic is expected in big cities, but of course, my first time in a long time being there, when you're in it, it can be frustrating, and I know for a fact I let my frustrations out. But overall, man, I enjoyed the experience, man. And if you ever find yourself in Atlanta, definitely check out the World of Coca-Cola. I fucks with that heavy. High Museum of Art. I love that place. Like I said, one thing captured my attention, but overall, I enjoyed myself, man. That's my overview, man. Appreciate y'all locking in, man. Been a good doc. Y'all take care, man. Y'all stay blessed, bro. Doc is out. Peace.